Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crooked MMA YouTube channel. I'm excited. UFC 300 official picks. Didn't think this day was going to come, honestly. We got through the hard fight nights and we're finally here. Now, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. 100 subscribers around UFC 300 would be amazing. And today we're going to be going over the picks, obviously starting from the early prelims, going to the main event, but we're going to take our time with this. So sit back, grab a beer, grab a coffee. I just had a coffee, got my water here, because we might be here for a little while. I want to break down these fights. I've actually went next level, and I've also got the stats for each fight, because I don't actually have any notes, because I've done a little bit of research, but nothing crazy, because I really just want to talk about these fights and break them down a little bit and sort of, along with you guys, get into my picks. So starting straight away, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. First matchup on the card. And it's a banger matchup. It's a good matchup. You know, side of Deiveson Figueiredo, we've got win over Rob Font, which impressive win. He did dominate that fight pretty well, in my opinion. Loss against Brendan Figueiredo. That was because of the eye poke, but he was getting sort of messed up before then. Win against Brendan Moreno. Loss against Brendan Moreno. Draw against Brendan Moreno. So a lot of fighting the same people. And then he finally moved on and fought Rob Font and got a win. And that was a good look. On the side of Cody Garbrandt, you know, you have a guy who was on top of the world. Now his career is sort of like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. Win against Rafael Assunção. Loss against Rob Font. Similar opponent. Loss against Kai Kara France. That was a brutal KO. Win against Trevin Giles, who 13-9 record. And then win against Brian Kelleher. And I did like that performance from Cody Garbrandt. That was the performance that sort of actually made me think, oh shit, does Cody have it again? Like that was what that performance made me think. Now, I want to quickly go over the stats in this matchup. Might as well use it. So we got Deiveson Figueiredo here. At 5'5", Cody Garbrandt 5'8". Deiveson Figueiredo has a 3-inch reach advantage. And the stats are sort of similar. Like, if we want to look at the ground game, I reckon Deiveson Figueiredo is going to be more dangerous on the ground. But I see this being on the feet. I see this being a striking matchup. And you guys won't like my pick. There's a lot of picks on this card that you guys won't like. So buckle up, because there might be some picks that you're like, this guy's waffling. He's waffling, mate. But I'm going Cody Garbrandt. I'm going no love. Is it a smart prediction? Maybe not. Is it a fun prediction? Yes. And do I think Cody Garbrandt has a really good chance here to win? Yes, I do. I'll tell you why. So, who is Deiveson Figueiredo really KOing, first of all? Like, who is he really KOing? Like, we're going to dive into his career here. Who is he really KOing? He does have 9 KO wins, but when was his last KO? Joseph Benavidez, 2020. Before that, it was John Morgara in 2018. Joseph Morales, like, he's not KOing anybody good. And people talk about his power. Oh, Deiveson Figueiredo, he's got that power. Well, I think, honestly, on the side of Cody Garbrandt, I think Cody Garbrandt's packing the more power here. Like, as you see, 11 wins by KO. His last KO was in his last fight. Before that, 2020 against Rafael Assunção. Before that, 2016. So, sort of similar, but I actually really think that Cody Garbrandt has the power advantage here. I think he has the power advantage in this matchup. I think he has the boxing advantage. If you're just talking clear boxing, like, I reckon Deiveson Figueiredo has nice leg kicks that could come in here. I reckon he has wrestling that could come in here. But I do think Cody Garbrandt has the better boxing, and I think he can catch a Deiveson Figueiredo. And has Deiveson Figueiredo ever been KO'd in his career? He has once in the third round. I'm guessing that was ages ago now. Oh, mate, that counted the doctor stoppage. So, no, I'd say he's never been KO'd. Fair play. But Cody Garbrandt has real power. He always has had real power. It's not always the power that'll put you down. I mean, put you out, sorry, but it is the power that will put you down. I think in the pocket, Cody Garbrandt's going to be better in boxing exchanges in the pocket. I think he's going to be able to land the better shots. I think he's going to be able to have the better movement here. Maybe. Like, they both have good movement. But I think it's the boxing where Cody Garbrandt's going to win here. And the power. Takedown. Just looking at Cody Garbrandt's takedown defense. I mean, it's 80%. He's not an easy guy to get down. And Cody Garbrandt could get his own takedowns here. Do I think he will? No. Do I think he should? No. But he might. I'm going Cody Garbrandt. I think he can win this fight via round 2 KO. I think there's going to be a size advantage here for Cody Garbrandt. I think there's going to be a power advantage here for Cody Garbrandt. And I think there's going to be a boxing advantage in the pocket for Cody Garbrandt. And I think he's going to KO him in the second round. After a back and forth first, where maybe even Cody Garbrandt gets dropped. That's my prediction. We're going Cody Garbrandt, baby. Don't call me stupid, even though I might be. But we will see. Next fight. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Now, I haven't even made my mind up on this fight fully. I was going Bobby Green at the start. I was going Bobby Green for all the obvious reasons. He's going to box him on the outside. He's going to be much quicker. He's younger, I believe. Yeah, he's younger, but not by much. As you can see, 2 good wins. Tony Ferguson win was impressive, but we all know what Tony Ferguson's at now. He lost to Paddy Pimblett. Nice KO against Grant Dawson. That was a bit of a fluky win, though. In retrospect, I actually picked Bobby Green, but looking at it back, it's a bit of a fluky win. And then Jalen Turner KO, Drew Dober KO. Jim Miller, submission to Gabriel Benitez, who isn't great. Jesse Butler KO win, who isn't great. Alexander Hernandez loss, which isn't amazing. Donald Cerrone submission. Nicholas Motta KO. Part of me just really thinks Bobby Green will just be able to pick at him on the outside. But then, I have a feeling Jim Miller's going to catch him. Does he have a reach advantage here? The exact same reach. Bobby Green might be able to keep it on the outside, though. I don't know. It's just after his last loss, after Bobby Green's last fucking loss, where he's on the mat. You guys would have seen that, right? Bobby Green on the mat after Jalen Turner flash KOs him. He's just getting his fucking head beaten in. Shot after shot after shot. We don't know how he's going to come back after that loss. It was only 4 months ago. 4 months ago, and bro nearly got murdered in that ring. It's not Bobby Green's fault. The ref should have stopped it earlier. I'm not saying, Bobby Green, you shit, nearly got murdered. I'm saying, bro, that ref had something against Bobby Green. Bobby Green, he had a bet on Jalen Turner or something, or Bobby Green might have slept with his daughter or something. I don't know. There was something going on. It's such a hard fight to predict. I'm going Jim Miller. I'm going to go Jim Miller just because I think he might be able to catch Bobby Green here on the chin. I don't like the damage he took in his last fight. I think Jim Miller's good enough to cut that distance and land those sort of shots on him. The Alexander Hernandez fight, I did re-watch it. Alexander Hernandez does have good movement and he's very bouncing in and out, and so is Bobby Green. But Alexander Hernandez did get tagged a few times in that fight, and if this was Bobby Green before the Drew Dober fight, I'd be saying Bobby Green. Maybe even after the Tony Ferguson win, I would have been saying Bobby Green. But after this fight and the Drew Dober KO loss before that, I don't like it, man. You got to think Bobby Green before this hasn't been getting KO'd barely at all. I think he only really got KO'd against... So he has been KO'd a few times, but in recent times, he hasn't been KO'd a lot. This was his first KO loss in on the feet, let's say, on the feet, ground and pound's different. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're saying since 2016, since 2016 against Dustin Poirier, he hasn't been KO'd on the feet clean. Now he's coming off a KO loss, 3 sort of fights. The one with Jared Gordon too, he did get a clash of heads in that fight as well. You got to keep that in mind. And then a KO loss against Jalen Turner. I think Jim Miller's going to chin him. And I think Bobby Green's chin might be gone. And Jim Miller isn't terrible too. Nice low kicks, nice combinations. I think he's going to be able to cut Bobby Green off and land big shots on Bobby Green. And Jim Miller can take punishment too. Jim Miller can take punishment. So I don't see Bobby Green KOing him. Next fight on the card. We have Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. So, women's fight. So, it's still a good fight. I'm not going to chat shit on it. It's one of the worst of fights on the card, but I'd rather watch this bullshit than Bo Nickal versus Cody Brundage. I always go to call him Cody Garbrandt because Cody Garbrandt's fighting on the card. I don't even know. Michelle Waterson, KO win. I mean, it is what it is. Lost to Verna Jandiroba, who's good. Amanda Lemos loss. I'm gonna go Jessica Andrade. Just because I've never really rated Marina Rodriguez. She's 26 years old. I think Jessica Andrade can KO her in this fight. Marina Rodriguez is impressive, but she does wear down. She does seem to gas sometimes. And I could see Jessica Andrade stinging her with shots after a back and forth. Maybe she loses the first round. Second round's a lot closer as Marina Rodriguez starts to, sort of tire a little bit. Jessica Andrade is finding her range, her pacing. She starts to come back. They're close on the feet. And then I think in the third, Jessica Andrade knocks her out with shots up against the fence after stinging her with like a straight right or something. Marina Rodriguez does have nice low kicks, nice teep. She's got a very nice Muay Thai game. While on the side of Jessica Andrade, I'd say she's more of a boxer / jiu-jitsu player. She likes to use her jiu-jitsu, and she's mainly a boxer on the feet. She throws very little kicks. I think Jessica Andrade is going to be able to catch her. I don't know what else to say about this fight. A lot of people are picking Andrade by KO, so I'm not alone here. Marina Rodriguez does have a reach advantage and a height advantage, but Jessica Andrade is good at getting on the inside. Now, I know she has a loss to Tatiana Suarez, who is good. She has a loss to Yan Xiaonan, who we found out is very good. And then she had a loss to Erin Blanchfield, who we know is very good besides their last fight. So I don't think she's washed. I don't think she's washed as much as we thought she was. I think after going back over her career, has she... let's have a look. So she lost to Valentina Shevchenko, fair play. Lost to Rose Namajunas, fair play. Lost to Weili Zhang, fair play. Win against Cynthia Calvillo. Win against Amanda Lemos. Win against Lauren Murphy. And then she fights... Think about this in retrospect. Erin Blanchfield just fought Menon Farrow in a close fought decision. She's got great grappling. Menon had the strength of a man in that fight for some reason. She fought Yan Xiaonan, who is about to fight for the title, and Tatiana Suarez, who is good in her own right. 9-0. She's a good fighter in her own right. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm going Jessica Andrade to KO her in the third. Next fight on the card, we have Jalin Turner versus Renato Moicano. Feels like I got something stuck in my throat. Don't even go there. Jalin Turner versus Renato Moicano. Now I like Moicano, and I've always liked Jalin Turner. I remember when I was just a first fan coming in the scene, I was listening to MMA, the MMA Hour. And Jalin Turner came on, and this was when I didn't really watch fights that much, and I was like, fuck, this Jalin Turner guy seems like nice, interesting guy. And he is. His record of 14-7 doesn't doesn't show him the respect of the type of fighter he is, in my opinion. Like, that Bobby Green KO was nice, impressive. Dan Hooker split. That was a bit of a weird look. Dan Hooker was getting pieced up in that first round, though. And Gamrot split. Can't be. He had 2 split losses. Brad Riddell submission. He looked insane in that fight. That fight against Brad Riddell. And Jamie Malarkey KO. I think he's going to KO Moicano here. I think he's going to get KO'd. I think Renato Moicano is going to get KO'd, and I think it's going to be pretty brutal. Not as brutal as the Bobby Green KO, though, as I was speaking about earlier. Not as brutal as that KO, but it's going to be fucking brutal. I reckon Moicano's going to be pushing the wrestling, and I think he's going to be getting tagged by shots on the outside. Let's look at this reach advantage. It ain't massive. It's not as big as I thought, but what's that? That's 3.5 inch reach advantage. Like, that's still a fair bit, mate. Like, 3.5 inches, that's half my penis size. So, he's got that on his arm, and he's going to be able to punch Renato Moicano on the outside. I'm just waffling shit. But Jalin Turner, in all seriousness, 28 years old, 10 months. He's the younger fighter. Moicano, 34, hitting his prime. He's in his prime. Fair play, but Jalin Turner, I think he's got this fight in the bag. Like, Jalin Turner himself doesn't have bad takedown defense. I'll even bring it up. Let's go over the stats real quick for this fight, if it lets me bring it up. Let's bring up the stats real quick. So, Jalin Turner takedown defense, it's 75%. And Moicano, you know, he sort of goes for trip sort of takedowns. He's not much of a double leg, single leg sort of guy. I think it's going to be hard to sweep Jalin Turner's feet out. I think Jalin Turner's going to stay standing, and I think he's going to punish Moicano on the feet, hurting him from a distance. Kicks will be a good big weapon here, leg kicks. I think Moicano will try and cut the distance, but in his last fight, we saw Drew Dober piecing him up a little bit. Like, that was, you got to keep in mind that was a very close fight, and Moicano only really won because of the wrestling. Fight before that, Brad Riddell, that was an impressive win. I don't like his last performance when it comes to Jalin Turner. Like, I don't like the loss to Drew Dober when it comes to fighting Jalin Turner. Not the loss, but the near loss, the close fight. They're getting pieced on the feet, they're getting dropped. I don't like it. I don't think you'll be able to get Jalin Turner down as easy as he did with Drew Dober. I think Jalin Turner will be able to stay on his feet. You got to remember, Drew Dober's never been great on the ground. He's never been great. We've seen him get exposed by Islam Makhachev. Fair enough, it was Islam Makhachev, but in retrospect, I did pick Drew Dober by KO, but in retrospect, it was sort of clear. Like, if Moicano could get his ground game going, Drew Dober wouldn't have the best chance. I think Jalin Turner is a different animal, or should I be saying a different spider? Get it? Because his name's Latrellian Shah. I'm going Jalin Turner via second round KO. I think first round he nearly KOs Moicano, but Moicano's just got the chin, the drive to survive. I think he survives the first round after getting pieced up a bit. Second round, mid-second round, I think he catches Moicano with something big after Moicano's been failing to get him to the ground. There might be a moment where Moicano does get him to the ground, though, and that will be interesting. So let's not. Maybe I'm doubting Moicano more than I should. You know, maybe I am doubting him more than I should, because he does have a good chance. Next up on the card, we have Sodiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopez. Now, I've got a bone to pick with you lot. Not you guys in particular, but maybe there's some people in the crowd that are saying Sodiq Yusuff, he'll be able to KO Diego Lopez. His boxing's too crisp. He's too good. He's too good on the feet. No. He will not KO Diego Lopez. And there is no chance of that happening. Straight up. Bro looked terrible in his fight against Edson Barbosa. Tell me that I'm wrong. He looked terrible in that fight. Good first round. Good second round. Where's the fucking cardio, brother? Where is the cardio? You couldn't finish old man Edson Barbosa? And you think you're going to beat the GOAT, Diego Lopez? I don't think so. Lost to Arnold Allen. Win against Andre Fili. Like, put the house on Lopez, in my opinion. Put the house on Diego Lopez. Like Sodiq Yusuff. He hasn't been subbed before. This might be the first time this man gets subbed. Give me Diego Lopez. Coming off a KO win against Pat Sattini. Made it look easy. Coming off a submission win against Gavin Tucker. Made it look easy. Nearly beat Mozlar Evloev. And we know how good Mozlar Evloev is now. Give me Diego Lopez by submission in round 1. Give me Diego Lopez. If Diego Lopez loses this fight, I want you to comment clapped and make fun of me. Make fun of me. Bring it. Comment clapped. You don't know what you're talking about. L. Get the fuck off YouTube. No wonder you're stuck at 94 subs, mate. You're never going to get to 100. Just say it. Just bring it, because he's not going to lose, though. He's not going to lose. And if he wins and you're not subbed, you should sub right now. But if I haven't convinced you and Diego Lopez wins, you have to sub it up. You have to sub it up, because he's going to win. But I haven't even talked about the style matchup. Sodiq Yusuff has good boxing, and he is pretty explosive. Like, going back over his record, 6 KO wins in the first round, 2 in the second, 4 in the first, 2 in the second. His last KO win came against Gabriel Benitez, 2019. A win, a guillotine choke. He's not subbing up Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez, in his career, has he ever been chinned? That is the question. He has been chinned back in 2018 against a man named Amir Azukiev. Who is this guy? 9-2. He must be good to beat the GOAT. He must be good to beat the GOAT. But Sodiq Yusuff ain't going to do it. Diego Lopez, I was watching some of his older fights. He's definitely improved his defense a lot more. His game. He's made his whole game better. I don't know how else to explain it. He's improved striking. His grappling's always been great. But his striking is actually good. And Diego Lopez himself packs power. Now, what I was saying was Sodiq Yusuff does have nice boxing. On the inside, hooks could be a big weapon here against Diego Lopez. But I like Lopez's diversity. Like, he's got nice boxing and you never know when he's going to shoot. You never know when he's going to shoot. Now, Sodiq Yusuff, before I say this, let me double check the stats, because I'm pretty sure he does have good takedown defense. From what I've seen, he has good takedown defense, and that might do him well here, but Diego Lopez is very creative when it comes to the grappling. So, takedown defense for Sodiq Yusuff is 62%, which ain't bad. Which ain't bad in all honesty. Like, that's a pretty good takedown defense. Anything over 55 for me is decent takedown defense. Will Diego Lopez be able to get him down, in my opinion? Absolutely. I think he'll be able to. He's very dynamic with his takedowns. He'll grab the back. You know, he'll fight you up against the fence. He'll go for double legs. He'll go for single legs. He'll sweep you out against the fence. I think this is going to be a tough fight for Diego Lopez. And I think if Diego Lopez pushes his usual pace, which is a high frantic pace, that's another thing I want you guys to remember. Diego Lopez pushes a high pace. And Sodiq Yusuff, in his last fight, he gassed. Sodiq Yusuff gassed against Edson Barbosa. He was looking sloppy. Fair enough, it was a 5-round fight. But Diego Lopez, he pushes a hard pace. This is only 3 rounds, but I think Diego Lopez will make Sodiq Yusuff push deep. Sodiq Yusuff might have moments in the first round, but then I think Diego Lopez is going to take him down and sub him. But if it does go longer, I think it even favours Diego Lopez more and more as the fight goes on. But I think Diego Lopez is going to sub his ass up in round 1. That is my prediction for that fight. Next fight, Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Now, a lot of people out there are backing Holm. Not on Tapology, but I've seen it. People on Twitter are saying she's going to expose Kayla Harrison. I don't believe it, but the one thing that does concern me is the drop down in weight for Kayla Harrison. She's dropping down in weight. She's usually at 150. She's having to drop down to 135. A big weight drop here. I don't know how it's going to look, but if she manages to do it healthily, is that even a word, healthily? Anyway, if she's able to do it in a healthy way, I think once she drops down, she's going to have a massive strength advantage over all these girls. And she's going to be able to bully him around a little bit in the grappling. And how does she win this fight? The grappling. I don't think Holly Holm is great at takedown defense. Again, I will get the stats up for that. But I've seen her be taken down. I've seen her exploited in the clinch a lot. There was the fight where she got subbed up against the fence. Who was that? Yeah, Marina Silva. How was that a no contest? Did she pop for like drugs or something? Oh, just open up the fucking stats, bro. Yeah, she can be bullied up against the fence against bigger girls. And Kayla Harrison is a bigger girl who is a championship judo player. She's got insane grappling for a lady. Holly Holm is going to be undersized. Physically undersized. They're the same height. Holly Holm's got a reach advantage, but physically, look at the difference in this photo. Look at the difference in this photo. Holly Holm takedown defense, 78%, but she just seems like she gets bullied, bro. Up against the fence, seems like she gets bullied. I think Kayla Harrison's going to be able to use the fence game against her, going to be able to take her down. It won't be easy, but Kayla Harrison's got good entries. She's got good entries. She doesn't shoot and just sit on the leg like a lot of women's fighters do. Well, a lot of fighters in general do. She will complete a takedown. She'll go for different type of takedowns that aren't single legs and double legs. I think Kayla Harrison will be able to get her down. Will be able to control a lot of this fight. I could see this fight ending and she has like 10 minutes of control time, 8 minutes of control time. I don't think she KOs Ronda Rousey. Not Ronda Rousey. What the fuck? I don't even know where that came from. Ignore that. I don't think she KOs Holly Holm. I don't think she submits Holly Holm. I think she just dominates, wins every single round with her grappling. Bullies are up against the fence. Holly Holm has some little moments out in the distance, but nothing good enough to beat Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison's hands aren't terrible either. And Holly Holm is 42 years old. She's 42 years old. And Kayla Harrison's just entering her prime. Give me Kayla Harrison by decision. I think she's gonna bully Holly Holm this fight with her grappling. I think she's gonna put on a little bit of a clinic with her grappling. Maybe in not the most beautiful way. Maybe it will be a lot of clinch work up against the fence, but I think she would do enough to just be able to control and big sister her. Like, say, I'm more physically big, mate. You fucking sit up against this fence, Holly Holm. You sit up against this fence. Next fight, Calvin Kattar vs Aljamain Sterling, the Funk Master versus the Boston Finisher. Now, if you made this far in the video, please like, subscribe, and comment. We're going longer. My last video ended at 21 minutes. We're now at 30 minutes. But I'm enjoying it. We're talking about these fights. We're whipping them out. We're having conversations. That's what I like to do. Now, I got Aljamain Sterling. I'll try and keep this one pretty simple because it is simple fight in my opinion. Calvin Kattar coming off a injury loss against Arnold Allen. I think he was losing that fight before that. Josh Emmett split. Could have went either way. A little bit of a robbery. Giga Chikadze win was impressive. Max Holloway dominated him. On the side of Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, KO loss. Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw. Now, this is more naturally Aljamain Sterling's weight division. Featherweight is more naturally his weight division than bantamweight, in my opinion. He's a big guy. He's not taller, but he won't be that much undersized here. Calvin Kattar has a 1-inch reach advantage. I think Aljamain Sterling will be able to grapple him here. And I know Calvin Kattar's takedown defense isn't terrible. Let me get up. I think it's over the 70s. I think it's over the 70s if I recall correctly. His takedown defense isn't terrible. It is 91%, so we're talking good takedown defense here. Takedown accuracy for Aljo, only 24%. I think he'll be able to get him down here, but not by just, taking him down. I think he'll be able to grab the back. I think he'll be able to really do his annoying style here. Calvin Kattar's good at keeping his distance and throwing nice shots, but Aljamain Sterling ain't bad on the feet either. I think it's a part of Aljo's game where he's overlooked a lot. He's got solid striking. He mixes his kicks in well with his strikes. He mixes his whole game in well. He throws like boxing combinations to a kick, to grabbing the back, to wrapping you up, to going for a takedown. When he's in his flow, he is in his flow. Like, you even saw it against the Jan fight. I really think he hit his flow in that fight. Even on the feet, he was looking good. He was, in a flow state, in my opinion, mixing everything up well. And I think if he can do that, being heavier, I think he'll be able to wrap Calvin Kattar up, take his back up in moments, take him to the ground. I think he'll be able to compete on the feet. He'll probably be losing on the feet, but there could be moments where he stings Calvin Kattar. No, Calvin Kattar's chin's made out of something fucking else, but he might be able to get some respect, is what I'm trying to say, from Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar's boxing is going to be superior. But Aljamain Sterling, if he hits that flow state, if he hits that funk mastery, you know what I'm saying? I think he will be able to beat Calvin Kattar just by being more busy, going for a takedown, just making this a awkward, ugly fight for Calvin Kattar. Close fight, though. It is a close fight. I'm going Aljamain Sterling via decision, though. That is my ultimate pick. But he could get a sub as well. I'm not against the sub. What are the people picking? Sterling by decision? I would have to agree. I think he can backpack him here, win exchanges on the feet, get takedowns here. He's got more options. Calvin Kattar's option is to keep it on the feet and try and outbox him. Aljamain Sterling can go for the back if he wants. He can go for the takedowns if he wants. He can choose to strike with him for a bit if he wants. He's got more choices here. Calvin Kattar, he can only strike. Next fight on the card. Jiri Prochazka versus Aleksandar Rakic. So, I am picking Jiri Prochazka for my first time I think I've ever picked him ever. I think this is the first time I've picked Jiri Prochazka in a fight. Since I started watching the UFC, I think this is the first time I went, yeah, I'm picking Jiri Prochazka. And that's probably the stupidest fight to pick him in. But, hear me out. Aleksandar Rakic. Great striker, good kickboxing, decent fighter. Like, he's a good fighter. I would say better than decent. Good fighter. He's good at mixing up his kickboxing very well. Elite kickboxing. I think he's got a very good strike style. He can take it to the ground if he wants. He's got good ground game. A really well-rounded fighter, but where he shines is his kickboxing. On the side of Jiri Prochazka, you got a wild fighter. Like, wild striking fighter. Good on the ground. He subbed up Glover Teixeira. I think he can make this fight wild. But he cannot fight this fight like he fought Alex Pereira. He was trying way too... He was trying to be way too strategic in that fight. I think he needs to throw that all out the fucking window and go Johnny Walker style on Aleksandar Rakic's ass. Why'd I pronounce it like that? Why'd I pronounce that sentence in that way? Not on his ass, but on him. Jiri Prochazka just needs to make this a wild fight. Go for takedowns, mix it up, throw elbows. Elbows will be a big weapon in this fight. Cut the distance, blitz. I think if he does that, he can win this fight. Aleksandar Rakic, a lot of the time, he needs distance or he needs to take it to the ground. That's something I've noticed in his fights. Jiri Prochazka can fight on the inside with elbows. And I think that's going to be a massive weapon here. I think he can cut Rakic open. I think he can make it awkward in the clinch range. I think he can just use his kicks as well, like on the outside, come in with wild shit. But he cannot try and fight Aleksandar Rakic in a strategic fight. If he starts this fight Aleksandar Rakic in a strategic fight and doesn't deviate from that game plan, he will lose this fight. He needs to get wild. I think if he gets wild in this fight, he can win this fight. My honest take. I'm going to go Yuri Prochazka via Has he ever been KO'd? Besides the leg injury, has he ever been KO'd? Once you've been KO'd once, you can be KO'd again. Yuri Prochazka's going to knock his ass out in the third round after a grueling fight. Knees up the middle, elbows. Aleksandar Rakic's going to be cut up to fuck. And Yuri Prochazka's going to finish him with a spinning fucking elbow tornado kick. And Aleksandar Rakic is going to be slumped on the ground. Yuri Prochazka's going to fucking act like a samurai and have an inspirational after-fight speech. Aleksandar Rakic, you're boring as fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, I like Aleksandar Rakic, to be fair. But Yuri Prochazka's going to knock his ass out. Bo Nickal versus Cody Garbrandt. Oh, I did it again. If you watched earlier, I go to call Cody Brundage Cody Garbrandt all the time, but I am going Cody Brundage in this fight. I think he can get the job done. I think Bo Nickal isn't that good of a wrestler. I honestly think Cody Brundage will be able to have a wrestling advantage here. I think he can reverse positions. I don't think Bo Nickal has that good grappling. Like, yeah, he's got all these wrestling credit. I'm joking. I'm pulling your leg. Of course I'm going Bo Nickal. Cody Brundage is a bum. He's a bum. Bo Nickal, as far as we know, he looks a little bit like a bum too, but I did like the KO win over Val Woodburn. That showed that his striking is looking strong. But he needs to... I can't be mad at Bo Nickal, but I just wish the UFC would have put him against somebody better than Cody Brundage. Like, Michael Zaitchuk KO loss, Rodolfo Vieira submission loss, Cedricus Dimas decision loss. Won against Jacob Malkoun after fucking getting dominated that fight. He would have fucking lost to Jacob Malkoun too if he fucking... No, it's Jacob Malkoun's fault. Shouldn't have hit him in the back of the head, Jacob Malkoun, and you would have had another win on your record, mate. And then Zach Reese. That slam was deadly, though. That I got to give him that. So that slam was deadly. That was a wild KO. All right, go to Cody Brundage. I'll give you that. But your opponent wasn't the best. But he fucking slammed him on his fucking head. That was cool. Now, I will say something. Before I say anything else, I don't mind an underdog little sprinkle on Cody Brundage via KO. Because while I think Bo Nickal's going to wrestle fuck him and submit him in the first round, that's my official prediction. I just want to put that out there before I continue any further. I do think Bo Nickal's just going to be able to take him down, sub his ass up, first round. But I do think Cody Brundage has, like, the smallest chance to KO Bo Nickal here. Now, what am I going off? Of? Cody Brundage does have nice power. That's what I'm going off. And I know so did Val Woodburn. Right? So 5 out of his 10 wins are by KO in the first round. His last KO win, besides the slam, we won't count the slam, was against Trayshawn Gore in round 1. And that wasn't that long ago. Now, Trayshawn Gore is no Bo Nickal, I know that. But Cody Brundage, I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but Cody Brundage does have alright scrambles. Right? Again, I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm just saying I do like the underdog bet for a KO win because he does have alright scrambles. What happens if... I can't believe this is coming out of my mouth again, but what happens if he scrambles the takedown, gets back to his feet? Bo Nickal's like, holy fuck, he just got back to his feet. How does that happen? Goes to strike with him. Brundage throws a big overhand and KOs his ass clean. Like, it's unlikely, but you can't sit here and say that that's not a little bit of a percentage. And that would be paying huge. He's paying plus 1200. I don't talk in American slang. I don't know what that would be in units or whatever you call it, decimal or whatever the fuck it's called. But you kind of say that that's a little bit of a chance and that'll be paying big. But yeah, my official pick's Bo Nickal by first round submission, but Cody Brundage could knock his ass out. I have a little sneaky feeling that that might happen. Will it happen? More than absolutely likely not. But it's a little chance. It's a little chance. You can't disagree with that. I'm gonna be sprinkling a little bit on it. I'm just being honest. Next fight. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. My throat is really fucked. Now, I was thinking about this. I've been locked on Arman Tsarukyan. Now, I have to say, Charles Oliveira fans, don't come after me. I'm going to say the same thing about a fight later. Don't come after me, please. I like Charlie Oliveira. I love Charles Oliveira. I like him more than I like Arman Tsarukyan. But I think Arman Tsarukyan's getting it done. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I might be fucking stupid. And I might get this fight wrong. And I'm okay with that. If Charles Oliveira gets it done, I'll be happy. I will be happy. Okay? We got that out of the way. But I'm going Arman Tsarukyan. I just think... In my head, I think he's more likely to win this fight. And that's all I'm basing it off. I think he's more likely to win this fight. Now, he was my lock since the start because of that fact. But just earlier today, I was thinking Charles Oliveira could sub him, you know. He could sub him, you know. We did see him lose to Gamrot. And in his Joaquim Silva fight, he did get knocked down. But he looked so good in his fight against Beneil Dariush, and I think that's what it comes down to. But so did Charlie Oliveira. I don't know which way to go. I actually don't know which way to go. I'm going to go Arman Tsarukyan. Just because I think he's got better wrestling. Like, I know that's... How do you think he has better grappling than Charles Oliveira? I don't think he has better grappling per se, although he might, in all honesty. We sort of... I think Charles Oliveira has a ground game that can be exploited and exposed against people who have high wrestling pedigrees, who also know how to stay safe with jiu-jitsu. We saw this in his loss against Islam Makhachev. I think if there's a better wrestler that can stay safe against the jiu-jitsu and control Charles Oliveira and stay in safe positions, I think he's not as dangerous as he seems against people who rush in or give Charles Oliveira control. I think if you've got Charles Oliveira on his back and you know what to do, you know how to stay safe, I think you can beat him. I think you can fight with him on the feet. If he doesn't KO you, which he does have a good chance to, I think you can follow him to the ground, and I think you can stay pretty safe as long as you know what you're doing grappling-wise and you're on top. And I think that's exactly what Arman Tsarukyan will do. I think he'll follow him to the ground. I think he'll stay safe on top. I think on the feet, he has an advantage. I just don't like how much Charles Oliveira leaves himself open to big shots. I don't like that at all. I think he's going to get hurt here in moments. He could definitely hurt Arman Tsarukyan too. He's got big power. And this isn't the first time I've underestimated Charles Oliveira. I underestimated him in his fight against Beneil Dariush. I picked him to beat Justin Gaethje, I'm pretty sure. I picked Dustin Poirier to beat him. And I picked him to beat Michael Chandler. So, mixed results, but I have doubted him before is my point. I think Arman Tsarukyan, though, he's got nice kicks. He's got nice defense on the feet. He's got nice defense on the ground. He's got decent power. He stays tight with it. He throws nice boxing. As I said, nice kicks. Charles Oliveira likes to step through with his punches. He throws nice shots himself. Nice straight. Like I remember he dropped. He's got a nice check hook. I remember he dropped. Who did he drop? He dropped Justin Gaethje with it, I believe. But I think Arman Tsarukyan's going to be able to hurt him on the feet and follow him to the ground and stay safe enough on the ground to do damage. Now, the difference between Islam and Arman Tsarukyan is I don't see Arman Tsarukyan submitting Charles Oliveira. So I'm going to go Arman Tsarukyan via decision. Now, that's a wild call. I bet this fight's predicted to not go the distance. A lot of people are picking Oliveira by submission. That's fair enough. And a lot of people are picking Tsarukyan via KO. I'm going Tsarukyan via decision. I think he can grind this out, win on the feet, control on the ground, but Charles Oliveira staying tricky enough. I think it's that sort of fight where you're like expecting it to, somebody's going to end it, but it never happens and just ends up going to decision. So again, don't hate me, but Arman Tsarukyan's my pick, but Charles Oliveira has a good chance. And I'm rooting for Charles Oliveira. Next fight on the card, we go to the BMF fight. If you guys have made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We're going to hit an hour in this video, babe. We're going to hit an hour in this video. But I don't care. I'm loving it. I have Max Blessed Holloway winning this fight. I think Max Holloway can win this fucking fight and do it impressively. No, I'm getting carried away. I think Max Holloway can win this fight, though, in all seriousness. I think people are underestimating Max Holloway so far, like, so much, 57.3% of people are picking him to lose by KO. Do you not know Max Holloway's chin? Bro, he's never lost by KO, and everybody's like, oh, Justin Gaethje's going to sleep him. Yeah, but who's Justin Gaethje sleep him? In recent times, Dustin Poirier head kick. Who's he boxing and sleeping? Tony Ferguson, but the ref had to jump in. Donald Cerrone, old as fuck. Edson Barbosa, decently old, you know. He doesn't have the best chin in the world. James Vick. Lost to Dustin Poirier. Like, he ain't KOing anybody in recent times. Couldn't KO Michael Chandler. How's he going to KO Max Blessed Holloway, who's never been KO'd? I know people are saying this is a different type of power. He hasn't faced this power before, and I do agree. He hasn't faced this power before, but he's filling out to this weight division. He's going to be a thick boy. He's going to be able to keep up. I think he's going to outpoint Justin Gaethje over 5 rounds. I'm guessing this is over 5 rounds. To a unanimous decision win for Max Blessed Holloway. I think he's going to be able to use body shots, long-range boxing, kicks. Justin Gaethje doesn't wrestle anyway, but if he chose to, I don't see him dominating Max Holloway on the ground, nor getting him down. I think Max Holloway, although he has a reach disadvantage here, I think he's going to be able to play this well on the outside. He's very good at darting in and out. And Justin Gaethje, I've seen it time and time in before. He doesn't do well with people who dart in and out. He tries to follow them. And he usually misses pretty inaccurately. He sort of plants his feet and throws. And yeah, if it does land, it's fucking devastating. But I think Max will be able to bounce in and out, land quicker shots. I think he's going to have a speed advantage here against Justin Gaethje. Speed advantage. I don't think this could be an L take. But I think Max Holloway at this higher division is going to pack more power. I'm going to say it. I don't think he would have that much. I'm trying to think of the way to word it. I don't think his power is going to be that bad. I think he's going to have decent power in this fight. Not as much as Justin Gaethje, sure, but I think he's going to have his own decent power he'll be able to throw in this fight. I think he can stay busy, stay annoying. Max Holloway, cardio for days. If somebody's getting tired, it's not Max Holloway, it's Justin Gaethje. I think Max Holloway can take over as the fight goes on, and I think he can stay fresh enough in the first 2 rounds. I'm going to say Max, unanimous decision, might lose a round or 2, and I think he gets more dominant as the fight goes on. Just being annoying. He deals with leg kicks well. We all know Justin Gaethje has that nice leg kicks, but Max Holloway deals with leg kicks very well. So I don't see the leg kicks being that much of an issue here for Max Holloway. That is my pick, Max. Via unanimous decision, win, being more busy, better boxing, better speed. Justin Gaethje just been a little bit behind and not being able to catch Max Holloway like he did to Dustin Poirier. That's just my take. Now, co-main event. I'm going Weili Zhang. I think she can win this fight against Xiaonan. Now, Xiaonan has very good boxing. She KO'd Andrade in her last fight. Before that, Mackenzie Dern decision. Marina Rodriguez split, loss. Kayla Esparza loss. Like, seeing her get grapple fucked by Kayla Esparza isn't the best look. Seeing her lose to Marina Rodriguez on the feet. I think Weili Zhang's going to dominate her here, in all honesty. On the feet, on the ground. There'll be moments where, you know, Xiaonan will like land some good boxing shots, but they aren't going to phase Weili. The leg kick, the head kick against Rose was a fluke. And the loss, Rose was on PEDs. She was on drugs. She was on performance-enhancing drugs. That's the only reason she won that fight. I'm joking. It's a joke. Don't sue me for defamation. It's a joke. Like, same reach. Yeah. Weili's gonna fucking KO her ass. I'm going KO. She could definitely sub her up here too, but I think KO, I think she KOs her in the third round. I think she's going to be way too dynamic, mixing her grappling up with her striking. I think she's going to have a power advantage here. Even though Xiaonan does pack decent power, I think Weili's going to be throwing the harder consecutive shots. I think she has the better boxing, better kickboxing, better grappling, better jiu-jitsu, better wrestling, better everything, better footwork. Weili's the GOAT. She's going to fucking KO Xiaonan. There ain't anything else to say. Like, what's Xiaonan going to do? She's got decent boxing, but who that's just a boxer is beating Weili Zhang? Amanda Lemos tried that already. Xiaonan. Amanda Lemos tried that already, and was she successful? What happened? She got fucking dominated, bro. She got dominated. And you might say Xiaonan's better on the ground. Perhaps. But Amanda Lemos wasn't... Everybody was saying Amanda Lemos isn't bad on the ground either until that fight, until she got fucking dominated. So, Weili Zhang's KOing her in the third round. Or maybe even the second. Main event time. We made it to the main event. If you've actually watched this full thing, comment down below because fucking... I really appreciate that shit. We've made it. We've made it to the main event. Alex Pereira versus Sweet Dreams Jamahal Hill. Now, I've got to do a disclaimer here. I got to do a disclaimer. These two fighters, there's probably even me saying it on record before. These two fighters are my two favourite light heavyweight fighters out there right now. They're two of my favourite fighters in general. Let me show you something. Sean Strickland. I had Sean Strickland in that fight, but I was stupid. Israel Adesanya picked Powhatan. Rematch, picked Powhatan. Jan Blachowicz picked Powhatan. Yuri Prochazka picked Powhatan. Fights before that when he first came into UFC, picked Powhatan. Jamahal Hill picked Jimmy Crute. I was a bit of a Jimmy Crute fan back then when he fought Jimmy Crute. Picked him to beat Johnny Walker. Had him against Thiago Santos. Had him against Glover Teixeira. So these two people are people I always pick and who I'm big fans of. And I love both their styles. And I love Alex Pereira, but I'm picking him to lose. I'm picking him to lose. And just like I mentioned Charles Oliveira before, please don't fucking hate me. I love Alex Pereira. Okay? I love Alex Pereira. As I said, one of my favourite fighters. I'm not betting on this fight. Just because the fact is, I don't care who wins this fight. I'm going to be happy for either man who wins, sad for either man who loses. I'd actually prefer Alex Pereira to win just for legacy-wise, for storyline-wise, to see how it shakes up the division. Alex Pereira getting a title defense. But I have to go Jamahal Hill. I've said it since the start. It all just comes down to one thing for me. Alex Pereira moves back in a straight line when somebody pressures him. Jamahal Hill steps through with straight punches and he uses his reach expertly. Now, Alex Pereira has a reach advantage here, but you know, when Jamahal Hill throws a strike, he will lean over with his whole body. Like, his body will basically be like this. And that'll be a good time for a check hook, maybe. That's maybe how the fight goes. But I think Jamahal Hill is going to be able to use straight shots, stepping into a massive advantage here. I think that's how he catches Alex Pereira. I'm not even saying he's going to be dominating this fight until that moment. I'm just saying that's how Alex Pereira might be caught in this fight. Moving back, we've seen against Jan Blachowicz. Alex Pereira moving back, and Jan was snapping his head back because Alex Pereira thought he was out of range, but he just wasn't. And he's getting his head stepped back. Jamahal Hill steps in with a shot. Jamahal Hill steps in with a straight right. I don't think Alex Pereira's chin's bad at light heavyweight, but I do think straight right from Sweet Dreams on any light heavyweight's chin is putting you out cold. And I think that's what Jamahal Hill's going to do. Now, if we just talk about outside of that moment, let's talk a little bit outside of that moment where my prediction that he's going to step through with a straight right, hit Alex Pereira, and sleep him. Let's move away from that. What does Alex Pereira do well? Check hooks. Like, that's the overrated part of his game. It's good. I'm just saying that's what everybody talks about. The leg kicks. The boxing to the body too. Body kicks. Jamahal Hill on the other side. Straight shots. Nice boxing of his own. Nice head kicks. Jamahal Hill throws head kicks, by the way. And they're nice. Nice body kicks too. The concern for me about Jamahal Hill is that the leg kicks might be an issue. They might be an issue, but I think Jamahal Hill's going to be able to, in my prediction, I think Jamahal Hill's going to be able to sleep him before the leg kicks get too much. But as I said, if the leg kicks start to take over, he very well could lose this fight. I really do believe he's going to step in and KO Alex Pereira. I'm going to go second round too. I think first round is back and forth. I think Jamahal Hill lands good shots. I think Alex Pereira lands good shots, good leg kicks, good shots to the head. They're both landing good shots to the head. I think Jamahal Hill's shocking people because people don't understand. People underestimate Jamahal Hill. Fair enough, against Alex Pereira he can do so, but I think they're underestimating him a little bit too much. Like you'll see down here. The fans are picking Alex Pereira by far. I think people are underestimating Jamahal Hill here. Even before this fight, this is my point. Even before this fight, people are saying, oh, Jamahal Hill, you're trash. I think Jamahal Hill is very good and very underrated. And that's why I'm excited for this fight. Because win or lose, I think he's going to show the fans that he is good. And Alex Pereira, I don't want him to get slept. I honestly hope this fight's a 5-round war. Ideal situation, fight's a 5-round war. Jamahal Hill is still young. He loses by decision. Alex Pereira defends a few more times. Jamahal Hill comes back. Alex Pereira retires. Jamahal Hill gets his title. Ideal world. Can we please just have that world? I don't want Poatan to get slept. I don't want Jamahal Hill to get slept. But I think Jamahal Hill is going to sleep him. And the more I think about it, the more that I don't want to see that. But I can just see it. I can see it. I know people talk about Alex Pereira's defense, like defense, striking defense is where he lacks. That's known. That's where he lacks. He lacks in striking defense. And you just got Jamahal Hill who steps through with shots. If he connects some good shots on Alex Pereira's chin, Alex Pereira's going to go down. And this could work against Jamahal Hill, but Jamahal Hill isn't as careful as a Jan Blachowicz. He's not going to wait on the outside as much and play a kickboxing game. He's going to step through, make it more of a brawling fight. He hits harder than Yuri Prochazka too. I got Jamahal Hill, and I'm decently confident in it too, but this is a fight where it could go either way. Like, the fight could start, Alex Pereira's not landing anything, fight starts, Jamahal Hill's not landing anything, Alex Pereira's getting his leg kick going, eats up that leg, starts landing his good shots, knocks him out in the third round by a check hook, or Jamahal Hill manages to do well against the leg kicks, manages to cut off the cage a bit, manages to start stepping in through his shots, get his timing, get his range, and steps in with that straight right and chins him. That's my prediction. But again, I want both men to go to a decision. Alex Pereira keeps his belt. Please, God, please. Please. Lock of the card. Lock of the card. Do I want to do it? Diego Lopez. Lock of the card. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, have a good one.
Give me 5 minutes, I'ma pull up with like 5 niggas. Give me 5 minutes, girl, I'ma be right with you.